Scarily enough, Christmas is fast approaching, and as ever, GW are releasing a few, 6 to be precise, army box sets for us to sink our teeth into for Warhammer 40k. And these are, all I have to say, looking really good this year, I think. They may not be the most meta best picks for competitive games of the units in an index or codex, but they are all very, very thematic and very, very fun. And I think if you are wanting to maybe start a brand new army over the Christmas period, or just add some cool looking units to an existing force, these all have got a lot of potential for either starting or adding to any of the 6 factions that these sets cover. First up out of the 6 is the Defenders of the Ancestors Leagues of Votann box. This thing nets you a solid starting army of 10 Hearthguard, an Einhir champion to lead them, and a Grimnir living ancestor to round out the foot troops, and then the massive Hecaton land fortress and a Sagittar ATV for some vehicular support. Now, I don't know the Votann as much as the other factions in these 6 sets, but to me this one feels the least impressive, I think. But again, that could just be because I don't know the faction very well. It is still a very solid looking set. It brings you a very well-rounded 750 point list. The champion comes in at 60 points, the 10 Hearthguard are 300, the Grimnir is 65, the Land Fortress is a massive 225, and the ATV rounds things off being 100 points. So it is a very nice starter army. It gives you some good mobility, some good durability in the Hearthguard, as well as some reasonable damage output, both from the shooting from the vehicles and also in close combat once the Hearthguard get out and charge into the enemy. In terms of pricing, this all comes to £237.50 from Games Workshop, and the current rumours from what we've seen from various sources and websites and everything is that these boxes may come in around the £160 to £170 price tag, although you never know. With GW this could go up to something like £180 if they're feeling really mean. I think that would be very, very unfortunate if they did. But I think for the sake of this video, from the rumours and everything that I've seen and been reading, I'm going to assume that these may come in on the lower end of that estimate. And so I'm going to say these may be around £160, which I think as well, if you consider the reasonable sized increase from last year's, I think they were £140 or £150 last year, and then maybe 120 and 130 the year before. So that kind of makes sense in terms of how the increases may go. So I'm going to go with a guesstimate of £160 to £170, depending on what the boxes have. Some have a bit more than others. But as I said, with that guesstimate, we get a saving of around 33% for these guys, or £77, which is actually a really hefty saving. It basically nets you the Land Fortress for absolutely free. So I think overall, if these prices are reasonably accurate in terms of ballpark figures, this is a solid, small, but punchy little force that really can get you a durable anchor point to expand out from, and maybe, you know, add some Hearthkin warriors or some pioneers to round out from some of the other units in the Votann range. Next up, we have the Orks. This time, their Christmas set features the newer kids on the block, the Beast Snaggers. And I have to say, I love this set. I really, really do. I think it is fantastic. If you want a pure Beast Snagger themed Orc list, this is a brilliant way to get things off to a very good start. Or even if you just want to add some more units to a regular, more all-encompassing Orc list, this is a really solid set of units to add to an army. You get a Beast Boss on Squigosaur, or Mozrog if you want to build him as that. You get 3 Squighog boys and their accompanying Nob on Smasher Squig. You get a Pain Boss, and you get 10 Beast Snagger boys, and then on top of that, you also get the massive Kill Rig to round things out. So as I said, it is a brilliant set, and I think maybe out of all of these, it's one that you could very, very easily pick 2 up of and double up on everything there, because it's a really good set of stuff. And having 20 Beast Snagger boys, having 6 Squighog boys, having 2 Beast Bosses on Squigosaurs, having 2 Pain Bosses, They're all good things to have a couple of, and it nets you a really big, really decent sized army, which of course looks really thematic and really cool as well. Points wise for this set, we have the Beast Boss at 165 points, 10 Snagger Boys are 105 points, the Pain Boss is 60, the Knob on Smasher Squig is also 60, the Squighog Boys are 110 for 3, and then the Kill Rig is 200. So this set all in brings you to a very tasty 700 points, or 730 if you build Mozrog instead. So once again, to go back to my earlier point, if you double up and get 2 of these sets, you will have honestly a really good, really strong, really fun 1500 point list to get on the board and get painted up pretty much straight away. If you don't have any orcs at the moment and you want an orc army, this could, 2 of these sets, could very easily get you a very good 1500 point list right out the gate. On the price side of things, again, if we take 160 as the base cost of these boxes, the stuff here comes to around £220, so this nets you a 27% saving. It's not quite as good as the Votann, but it still is over 25% off, so it's not bad by any means. And I just think in general, out of all of the sets, this is probably my favourite, and I think probably the best of the bunch, whether you want to start a brand new orc army, or as I said, you just want to add some snagger units to your existing warg. This is a very cheap, very efficient way to get some brilliant units and have some fantastic modelling opportunities to bring something cool and zany and unique to your army. I will almost certainly be picking up at least one of these boxes. The only real competition in my mind for which ones I want to get is the next one, which is the Cadian Defence Force. And the Cadian Defence Force is another just classic, fun, good, really well put together looking set of minis to get if you want to add some more units to your Astra Militarum or just start a brand new faction entirely this year. What this set gives you is 20 shock troops, a Cadian command squad to go along with it, which in itself may not sound all that scary, but then you have to factor in it also brings you 2 massive lumbering Rogel Dawn tanks to back them up. And then it becomes quite a different prospect indeed. This is one of those sets where getting 2 maybe isn't the best idea because A, you don't really need, and B, you actually can't even take more than 3 Rogel Dawn tanks. But still, if you wanted to have 3 Rogel Dawns and you wanted a few big squads of infantry, you could always pick 2 up and then just resell one of the extra Rogel Dawn tanks to make a bit of money back from it. Again, like the Votann and the Orks, this comes in at around the 700 point mark. The command squad is 65 points, the 20 shock troops come in at 120, and then the Rogel Dawn tanks are each a whopping 260 points each, so that brings it to a very handsome 705 points. And then on the price front, this one comes to £270.50, so should, again, looking at the figures we've got for a guesstimate of the box price, net you around a 23% saving. Now that isn't really quite as good as the other ones we've seen, but you never know, this may actually come in a little bit cheaper. There could maybe be a mix of prices between the sets, maybe ranging from, I don't know, £150 to £170 depending on what you get in the box. I think in the last couple of years there has been a bit of a variation. They haven't all been the same price, and from previous GW boxes we know they like to sit these at around a 30-ish% saving. So if this one does come in at £160, it may seem a little light and a little tight compared to the others, but on the other hand, if this comes in at 150, you are getting a reasonably solid saving on everything in the box. But it is a very fun set. You get 2 of those gorgeous brand new Rogel Dawn tanks, and equally some of those gorgeous brand new Cadian minis that only came out last year. So it is a solid force, it has a lot of firepower, it has a lot of bodies, and it has 2 really big, cool centerpiece units to add to the board. Of course, it wouldn't be a Christmas box set release without Space Marines, and we do get a box set. It is not a super meta one, but it is, I think, actually quite a cool set for the Space Marines this time. The Spearhead Force is 3 squads of the brand new Jump Pack Intercessors, so 15 in total, led by the equally brand new Jump Pack Captain, and then adding on to that theme of fast moving speed, you get 3 Outrider bikes and an Invader ATV. I think this is a really cool, fun little set. I will probably get this to add to my Dark Angels. I know the Jump Pack Intercessors aren't Ravenwing, but they do just look very, very cool in black, and I think that they do fit the theme of Ravenwing quite well. So I personally am very much looking to add this to my army, even if, as I said a bit earlier, it's maybe not the most meta set of units that the Marines can take at the moment. At 255 points for the 15 intercessors and then 85 for the captain, we are looking at 340 points, and then you add on 70 for the ATV and 95 for the outriders. That gets you a total of 505 points. So yes, this one is actually significantly less than the other boxes so far. It's more of a combat patrol size box to me than the 700 to 750 points of the others, and I hope personally that that is reflected in the price, because honestly I do think this one should be a little bit cheaper just to balance out the smaller set of units you get in terms of their points value. It also on the price front only comes to £197.50 separately, so again I do think there should be some variation in the price of these sets so that this one gets you a reasonable saving. If this one were to say come in at £150, that would net you a 25% odd saving, so again it's not too bad. Not quite as impressive as say the Orks or the Votann, but still I think at £150 this one is well worth picking up and will be a quick, easy way to get that new captain and the new jump pack models with some bikers and an ATV just to add to your army as well. The Tyranids also get some love this Christmas with the Onslaught Swarm bringing a load of Gribblies and a couple of big beasties to the mix. This box has got 20 Hormagaunts, 10 Gene Stealers, a Hive Tyrant, and the brand new terrifying Norn Emissary to bring to the battlefield. Obviously, all of these, apart from the Tyrant, are the brilliant, fresh, brand spanking new models, so they do all look incredible. And this set also nets you a hefty value points-wise. It comes in at a whopping 800 points worth of models, even more than that if you build the Hive Tyrant without wings, or you take the Norn Assimilator instead of the Norn Emissary, so you do get a lot in this set. It really is a brilliant amount of models and a good amount of points to start your own Hive fleet. On the cost side of things, you also get some solid savings as well. It's £200 for the lot, and so you could easily get a 20% saving if this comes in at £160. Again, if it is slightly cheaper, maybe £150, you again will get even more value for your money. So you could do really well out of this box, and it does get you, even if this is £160, so you don't get quite as much saving as buying everything separately, it does still frankly get you a huge army for 800 points worth of models, and it is all apart from the Hive Tyrant brand new stuff. So maybe that is again why GW are pricing it a little bit higher comparatively to the value of everything separately, just because it is all new stuff. So you are getting some gorgeous brand new models and still getting a reasonable 20% off the retail price. Last but by no means the least, the World Eaters are also getting into the festive spirit, and this time the stops are really being pulled out. Not only does the Exalted of the Red Angel set bring you 10 Khorne Berserkers and 6 8-bound, but on top of that you get the Red Angel himself. Yes, Angron is leading this merry little band. Of course, he is a huge big key centerpiece model, so if you want Angron, this is definitely a good way to pick him up. The box in its entirety is an insane 885 points, or 915 if you build the 8-bound as Exalted 8-bound, so that is nearly 1000 points worth of stuff you can get from this box, which for a Christmas box set is genuinely brilliant. It also comes in at £250 as well, all separately, so if this is again £160 from GW, you will be saving a solid 25%, essentially getting you £55 worth free, so you'll basically be getting the Berserkers for free and a couple of the 8-bound, or you could alternatively consider it getting half of Angron for free in this set. It really is a massive box and a really good valued one. It gets you some great savings, and as long as the price guesstimates hold up, I think if you want to start World Eaters or just add some more chaos to your list and to your army, but you don't have Angron yet, you will almost 100% want to pick this up, if nothing else, just to get Angron's gorgeous model onto the battlefield. So that is the 2023 Christmas box sets. As I said, I think they are all looking really rather good this year, although personally the Orks and the Astra Militarum ones are my favourite overall. The World Eaters and the Nid sets though, they get you some really big armies points wise and hopefully at still a very, very good savings. So I think all of these sets, even the Marine one and the Votann one, can find a place with new or old players, and I imagine that any player who either collects or wants to start any of these factions will honestly be hard-pressed not to want to grab at least one of these boxes to either boost or kickstart their new army. But, as always, I'd love to know what you think. What do you make of these sets, and which of them, if any, will you be picking up? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and as always, thank you very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe for more Warhammer content from me, but until next time, I'll catch you later, guys.